Hi there. How are you, everybody? Ah, it's a beautiful day here in California, and the day after payday, I'm down to the nubs again. Okay, it's called retail therapy. Um, Went shopping this morning, got my groceries, and what I notice about groceries that I wanted to share is that the prices are leaping. They're not just going up a little bit; they're leaping. I called DoorDash for a Chinese dinner yesterday, and I figured I'd get a couple of items, and the bill came to $62. Now, I can eat on that for about 3 days, but it's still a lot more than it used to be. And so I went to the health food store, and the salmon was $22 a pound. Okay. And things are escalating in price in double digits, like a third, some things half. And so that means that we have to change our buying strategies and stock up on essentials and minimize the frivolities. But we all know that. The second thing is I found a recipe how to make your own quinine. And so I'm doing that, and I'll tell you how that goes and how that works. The recipe is on my Facebook timeline, and it involves the peels of grapefruit, organic. Okay. And we'll see if that does anything for a problem with phlegm that I've had for years, because that's what it's supposed to deal with. But the thing I really wanted to talk about today is a philosophical matter. Yesterday, I spent $15 on a copy of The Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind by Dr. Stephen Greer. And I really respect that man and the work that he has done to bring true testimony to the national awareness about what UFOs constitute. Okay. And the point that he makes, it's way past time for us to hear not only that the government is aware that they're flying around the sky, but that the government is aware of the names of the people who are commanding the ships, the names of the cultures that are being represented, the names of the humans or the people, whatever race they are, Andromedans, Pleiadians, Alpha Draconis, whatever their meme, their label is. It's long past time for us, the people on this world, to know who, not just what, who is visiting here and why they're coming here and what they're seeking when they come here. All right. And so Dr. Greer's point that it's long past time for the ETs to be personal people. I agree with that. But there was an aspect of his presentation that I balked at. And his presentation is all about the expanding and increasing awareness of our cosmic being so that we can identify with ETs, and so we can identify with the whole universe, and so we can be a world at peace. There's a problem, honey. About less than 10% of the people on this world are ready for that. Okay. Dr. Greer, you have to stop pretending that 90% of the world's people are not ready they're in tribes, they're in cults, they're in clans, they're in ideologies, they're in churches, they're in groups who aren't up to it yet. And so the whole idea of a worldwide administration to get everybody to act the same, regardless of what their mental orientation is insane. It's insane. 91% of the world's peoples have their own mental set, their own culture, their own society, their own religion, their own way. And a top-down dictatorship is not going to succeed in brainwashing and changing and turning those people into something else or somebody else. And so the idea that we are all, and this, this is the white man's head trip, that everybody's awareness is increasing and that we're all going to be a happy family when the ETs are welcomed to this world. That's not what's going to happen. Most of the world's people are going to remain most of the world's people. And the fact is, most of the world's people are compartmentalized into nations and cultures and races and societies and belief systems. And some of these belief systems prey on others. Okay? The evangelicals, we finally realized that the evangelicals drive most of us crazy, because they're telling us that they know what is true regardless of what we know. That's jihad. That's divide and conquer. That's we're righter than you and I'm righter than you. And because I'm righter than you, I deserve to dictate to you what is true to you. That's bullshit. That's not going to work. Protection rackets that are run by the rich elites have made them very rich already. And so what is Bill Gates doing with his money? Okay, and Jeff Bezos doing with his money that he squeezed out of the corporate process? He's putting his money into the ideology that says we all have to be forced to think alike, particularly Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg is not an educated man. And he has banned some of the most moderate speaking, intelligent, reasonable people that I know of. Okay. So Zuckerberg is really doing harm to freedom of speech. He's a loose cannon in the social network arena. Yeah, and I'm not going to get specific on that because that's not what I do. I don't call out victims. Zuckerberg represents policies that are run by an artificial intelligence algorithm. So I call him by name because he's the creator and the one who profits from that algorithm. So I can point him out. He represents Facebook. But he is doing a lot of harm to the whole concept of freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. And he is going to have to answer for that somehow. All right. And so the idea of these rich Illuminati, that the world is going to be lifted up to fifth density or fifth dimension, and third density is going to be destroyed, is their wish that they can be exclusive and inclusive and that they can be better than everybody else. And that's not what the creation is about. I don't know if you've noticed that in the ocean or in the forest or on the savanna, in a natural ecosystem, there are predators and victims. But when the predators take hold and strip the victims out of their territory, the predators themselves starve. And that's what these rich billionaire predators are doing. They're removing the very source of their own wealth. They're removing the very possibility that this world can grow and learn and develop into a civil place in which the human diversity is equivalent to and similar to the ecological diversity. We have people walking around who are dumber than animals, okay? I know of a couple of dogs that are smarter than some of the people I know, okay? And we know, what's the name of that gorilla who knows human sign language? And when she was talking to Robin Williams, she made more sense than a lot of people I know, okay? The gorilla, all right? We don't even have a handle on the intellect or the telepathic abilities of Bigfoot because they've been able to escape and stay out of our way. That has taken some intelligence, I'll tell you. All right. And so if we're going to have a diverse world in which every human can find a niche, a place, a role, a function to function and be in a life that makes sense, to not do harm, and to not practice deceit and treachery and protection rackets like slavery and bribery and this divide and conquer mentality. I'm righter than you and we're righter than them and all of that. We're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. And so I have to say to Dr. Stephen Greer, back off of the idea that everybody's on your page, because 90% of the world doesn't have a clue what you're talking about. They're in their own place with their own culture and their own religion and their own way of being. And what law has to do is regulate and set limits and boundaries on behavior, not on ideas, not on theories or hypotheses or ideologies. Law is for the purpose of limiting harmful behavior so that life itself can thrive. Is this difficult to imagine to you? Do we need to have maritime admiralty treaties that pursue treachery, protection rackets, slavery, bribery, and divisions? Well, but that's what the treaties, since Eisenhower signed the Greada Treaty and Bush signed the Tau 9, that's what these treaties are calling for, because there are no human rights in the treaties. There are no human rights in maritime admiralty and corporate statutes, okay? And so many of us have landlords who are corporate thugs, and there's nothing we can do about it, because what we can do about it is perhaps put ourselves on the line for a mortgage to a bank so that we can purchase a piece of property and pay the taxes and pay the maintenance and pay the mortgage and pay and pay and pay and pay. And that's a system. It's all about paying and suffering and struggling. And there's been really too much of it all. We, the people, are ready for a jubilee. We are ready to have our debts forgiven. We are ready to have our sins forgiven and to start over and to start learning how to just get along. It's time for us to just learn how to get along. And never mind this fifth dimensional, we'll be so aware, we'll just love everybody. Sorry, but just and fair and equitable law isn't something you wish for. It's something that the attorneys and the barristers and the lawyers are supposed to craft. And what they have crafted, no thanks to the Bar Association who answers to the Queen, is that they craft advantages for themselves, and it craft advantages for their clients with deep pockets. law profession is nearly as despicable as the big pharma who wants to sell us on sorcery and druggery and invasive therapies. How come it is such a problem when a person, an older person, younger person, any person says, no, thank you, I decline. I don't want your druggery. I want to find a gentle therapy that works for me, whether it's chiropractic or reflexology or herbalism or acupuncture or whatever it is, okay? Reiki, right? Reiki, whatever. Why are we hooked in to the medical cabal who charges thousands of dollars to spend a few minutes with you? I'm just really looking at the system saying, fifth density awareness isn't going to fix any of the problems in this society. Fifth density awareness and the meditations and the little routines and spiritual practices don't do anything for protecting or restoring our world to just getting along. Okay? So this has been Emily Craig, and I'm bringing you up to date on what I learn each day. And I hope that you can find some value in it. Because what you get from the mainstream media and the regular stuff is regular stuff, and you get reprogrammed every day by the same newscasters mouthing the same scripts and the same programs every day. I hope that I'm helping to shake you out of some of the mind training, the dog training that you're subject to, enough that you'll begin to object and protest being treated like a barn animal. Okay? We don't want to be treated like barn animals. There's plenty of interesting things to do in this world without getting in a rut. There is a saying, and this is important. If you only do what you've always done, you will always get what you always got. So think about being aware of some new options. I hope you will. This has been Emily Windsor Craig. Bye-bye.